Hello and welcome. My name is Raymond Ijeomah. I'm a real estate entrepreneur as well as a property lawyer here in Nigeria. In this particular video, we're going to be discussing certain mistakes. As a matter of fact, seven mistakes you should never make whenever you want to invest in a city like Abuja. I mean, specifically, invest in real estate in Abuja, and by extension, some other cities in Nigeria. Now, real estate is supposed to be good news always, but I mean, it's human, right? And when humans are involved in any endeavor, one would expect that certain things, inadequacies, or certain unscrupulous elements, or people who want to just scam people, sort of come into such sector. So real estate is one sector that there's a lot of money in it, and you have to be careful so that people who are bad eggs in the sector do not make you lose your hard-earned money, right? So it's rather important that you have knowledge, the requisite knowledge. You are properly informed, educated, and permit me, I like to use a word, real estate literate. We have the concept of illiteracy and literacy, financial literacy and financial illiteracy. So I think there should be a concept known as real estate literacy. So that gives you the requisite knowledge, education that you should have as an investor or somebody who just wants to buy properties. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 7 mistakes. I think I should call them top 7 mistakes you should not make whenever you want to invest in a city like Abuja, or by extension some other cities in Nigeria. This video is brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd, a real estate company registered here in Nigeria, and we're naturally designed to bring you the best of real estate. We want to be there for you. We want to be part of that journey as you journey to building sustainable wealth. We want to be part of that journey. We want to be there with you, right? So we basically bring you nothing but the best investment opportunities, consult for you generally, and then just serve you as it relates to real estate, right? So we encourage you to subscribe to the channel and stay in touch, and also do it to turn on the notification. All right, so let's go. The very first mistake you should avoid, like I said, I'm going to give it 7 of them, and in as much as this one's coming as first, it doesn't make the 7th one less important. So I would encourage you to watch to the very 7th mistake that you should avoid, so that you are aware, you know all of them, and you don't fall victim of any one of them. So the first I would share with you in this particular video is that you should avoid pressure. Real estate involves a lot of money, comparative of course, but I mean, for a city like Abuja, before you are able to get property, you should be looking at, say, 1 million naira and above. So depending on how deep your pocket is, that can be big money, that can be a lot of money, right? So being that you are bringing in as high as or as little as 1 million naira, you are investing as little as high as 1 million naira, it is expected that you don't hurry, you're not under pressure when you want to invest. Now, the truth about it is that the sector sort of designs certain things. Sometimes they are genuine, sometimes they are sincere. Possibly, for example, there's a discount so we also have a property right now that's supposed to be going for 6 million and has been slashed to 3.9 million, and that offer will last between now and the 15th of December, right? And that means that there's a short period of time for you to grab such offer. In that instance, one would say that is sincere. That's for a reason, right? But there are other times where the developer or the system or the people involved in the transaction or the agents or the brokers naturally just design it so that you are quick to give them the money, and then they can also be quick to disappear with the money. I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. So why is it okay to invest in this sector? What you should pay attention to is once you sense any pressure, it is important that your antennas, your alertness gets even more alert, so that you can check properly if anything is about to go wrong. Right. So I'm trying not to make this video very long. I'm trying to work with 10 minutes, so I may not go into so much specifics or details, but just get the point. Once there's any reason to feel pressured or to do the transaction in a hurry, then you have to step backwards a bit and ensure that you are emotionally intelligent enough to ascertain if the pressure or hurriedness is sincere or if it is designed to defraud you. The second mistake that you should avoid is jumping at every cheap product in the market. I want to tell you for free that most cheap products are simply designed to defraud you. I need you to take that from somebody who has been in this sector. I know for a fact, I can give numerous instances that we have intervened in certain transactions. Being in the business, we know the moment a client tells you, this is the location of the property, and this is the size of the property, and then the next question is, how much is it? The moment a client tells you how much they are offering as asking price or a non-negotiable price for that product, the moment we hear it, we know that there is a likelihood that this is a fraudulent transaction. There's a reason for that. The reason is simple, because we know over time that there are certain places that you cannot get property for less than 5 million. There are certain other places that you know that you cannot get property for less than 50 million. So with that knowledge in mind, it doesn't excite us when we hear that, oh, a property that's supposed to be, or a location where you're supposed to be getting properties for 20 million, somebody is offering it at 5 million or 20 or 10 million. At that point, your experiential knowledge basically just tells you that something wrong is about to go down here. Yesterday I was consulting for a client. He wanted to buy a property outside of Abuja, and I know for a fact that in that location they no longer sell property. As a matter of fact, 3 kilometers away from that particular location, properties are already going for as high as 1.5 million. And at this point, the seller is offering my client a plot in that place for 1.3 million. She is super excited about getting the offer, and she's looking at doing 5 plots. To her, it is rather exciting. It's supposed to be good news. But for someone who understands the sector, I know for a fact that no, this cannot work. So we've had series of instances like that. I remember one occasion that a client wanted to buy property from the UK, and when she called, she was super excited about the opportunities. And for most of these occasions, the clients usually see those occasions or those opportunities as opportunity. You understand what I mean? So she reached out and she insisted that I should go and see the place for myself. And so a relative took me there. On getting there, the moment I got there, this property was just along the road. The moment I got there, I told the client that this property is too cheap for this price. It's too cheap for this price. She insisted, and we gave it a try. Long story cut short, it was indeed a scam. That's how we're able to avoid that. So I'm saying, based on experience, that if a product is too cheap, you have to be careful. You shouldn't immediately consider it an opportunity. Rather, you should take your time to be sure that it is not a scheme designed to defraud you, right? And the only way you get to know if a location is cheap or if it is worth the price that it is being offered is if you understand the sector. And that's why you should always learn to involve professionals and people who are in the sector to possibly broker a deal for you and all of that. The third mistake you should avoid is not having specific purpose in mind. For a city like Abuja, land administration it's somewhat, I'd give land administration here about say 65-70%. And based on that, there are certain lands as against some other places. An area can be designed as residential, and somebody will deliberately go and build a massive shop there. Somebody will decide to go and build a shopping complex there. Somebody will decide to go and build a school there, even though it was designed as a residential area, right? But for a place like Abuja, to a large extent, if an area is designed to be strictly, exclusively residential, if you build a commercial property there, it most likely is going to be demolished. The point I'm trying to make here is, before you buy any property in a place like Abuja, you must always, at every point, ascertain what is the purpose of the transaction first for yourself. When you know that, okay, I want a residential property, then you can reach out to the broker or the agent to say, oh, Fortreal, or hey, I need a property for residential purpose. At that point, a broker that knows his work will not be offering any product that is not residential. All right. So the purpose for which you are investing will help you determine and avoid any mistake in this regard. So of course, there are properties that are for misuse. There are some that are commercial. There are some that are residential. So note this and have it at the back of your mind from the beginning. Because if you don't have it and just call any broker and say, oh, get me a property, the agent or the old broker is going to get you a property anywhere, because there's no specific purpose in mind. Of course, we all know the phrase that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse becomes inevitable, right? So the broker would innocently get you any property, not knowing that what you intended was commercial. And then at the end of the day, he got you something that is residential. So by the time you build something there that is commercial, it most likely will be demolished. And at that point, it becomes a big deal. You begin to experience or feel regret. So the idea is, just before you get into the investment or transaction, have it at the back of your mind and let the broker or agent know what you want. All right. And the fourth mistake you should avoid is the issue of documentation. Documentation is critical. As I would always say, possibly if you're somebody who watches videos on this channel a lot, you possibly would have heard me say so. Documentation is as important as the location. In as much as most clients are more excited, are always excited about, oh, the location makes sense, the amenities are on point, this is good. And except they have a lawyer to ask that question, they most of the time do not ask questions like, what is the title? Is the title right for this transaction? So the issue of title is extremely critical. As much as the place gives you good amenities, as much as the place gives you, makes you feel like a big boy, that big boyness, permit me, may be cut short by lack of proper documentation. So it is very important that before you make a move on certain real estate investment, you should be sure that the documentation or the title is right. So it is a mistake you should avoid, or let me say it this way: it is a mistake for you to prioritize the location over the title. That is it. There's no need to belabor that point. It's a pretty much straightforward point, right? The fifth mistake you should avoid is using the wrong broker or the wrong agent. Now, yes, we are the ones bringing you this video, but I'd rather make it clear. The day you see or you feel or you suspect that we're not meeting up to the standards, that is the day you should stay clear or delete our numbers from your phone. Now, let me say it. Every broker has a responsibility to the client. Every broker or agent should prioritize client interest over commission. It should be as a matter of fact, it is a fiduciary relationship. It is a fiduciary responsibility backed up by law. Nigerian society may not have certain regulatory systems that checkmate certain activities of brokers or companies. However, it doesn't take away the equitable practice of fiduciary relationship. That's big grammar. But the point is, an agent, when you say, oh, Mr. So and so or Fortreal Rei Ltd, help me get this. The priority for while Fortreal Rei Ltd is getting that job done, priority should always be to the client, not the commission that is going to be paid at the end of the day. So it is your responsibility to look out for clients, to look out for brokers or agents that you know that by principle and standard that they will put your interest first. I think I may have miscalculated. So I think this is the next one now is distress sales. Now, I talked about it sort of, but let me just use this point to emphasize it. Some distress sales are designed to get your money and just to move on. So I've had a transaction like that. One of my clients were looking at how to carry out due diligence for the purchase of the property, and all of a sudden a strategy, marketing distress strategy came up, and just before I knew it, he had paid a portion of the money so that he can secure his interest in the deal. And then after we're done with due diligence, at the end of the day, we ended up requesting for a refund, and that was serious. It would have been a serious mess, right? So understand the concept of distress, especially for people who do this a lot, are people who sell in the street, not companies. They do it more. So somebody can just tell you that, oh, my uncle is having this issue, my family is having this issue, they want to relocate abroad, they want to somebody's in the hospital and all of that. You just cook up something, and they are selling a property that's supposed to be for 5 million for 1 million. The truth about it is, in as much as there's supposed distress, it is your responsibility to be sure that that distress sale is not designed to disconnect you from your money. I'm sure you get the point. And the last one I'm going to discuss here is who you are buying from. Who you are buying from. At every point in real estate transactions, there's a principle in law which we call nemo dat could non habet. It simply says that you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot give what you do not own. So at every point in buying a property or investing in real estate, always ensure that the person you are buying from, whether it's a company, a family, a community, a developer, a company, or anybody, ensure that they possess interest. They have the right to sell to you. It's a quick instance. Client reached out a couple of days ago now. I can't remember exactly when, and he was having he had a property he bought so many years ago, up to 5 years now. Property is still awaiting excision approval. So practically, it means that the company he bought from doesn't have title yet. The company or the family or community that sold to the company still doesn't have title yet, because excision has not been done. And because until excision is done, the community will not have title, the company cannot have title, and he who bought last cannot have title. So in other words, company actually gave what they did not own. So it's a tried principle in law. It's a tried principle in law. So I just need to bring that to you and make it very clear. Somebody who doesn't possess title rights to transfer title cannot competently transfer to you. Let me quickly add here, I'll chip it in here. The contract of sale doesn't transfer title. I'm going to do another video where I'll talk about who has the right, or what qualifies, or what makes somebody possess the requisite competent authority to transfer title to you whenever you are buying a property. So until then, I would encourage you to stay in touch, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, and just stay around this YouTube channel, because we're going to continue bringing you amazing content just like we just watched. All right, and then again, remember that this was brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd, the real estate company registered here in Nigeria, and we bring you nothing but the best of real estate. We're able to sell properties, manage properties, consult generally, broker deals for you, help you close deals, and just be sure, be there for you, be part of that journey, be part of your journey to building sustainable wealth. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think here is where we will end the video. Bye.